I regret to inform you that after years of unbridled success, the Fazbear Funtime service has finally come to a close. Finally, the people of Hurricane can sleep without the threat of wild bears breaking into their house and crushing their skulls. But there is a problem. The service ended abruptly. Everything shut down and everyone packed up and left. Except for the animatronic currently in your house. If you're listening to this, you are one of the unlucky fellows who had an animatronic delivery actively going when the service halted. And now with the return orders no longer functioning and the recall system deactivated, that animatronic isn't going anywhere. Now I know the knee-jerk assumption is to call the authorities or try to destroy the animatronic yourself, but let me warn you, that won't end pretty. And just because Fazbear Entertainment shut down their service doesn't mean they aren't available to clean up a mess. The mess that is whatever's left of you. Instead, I have a proposition for you, and it involves something radical and new, something that might interest anyone willing to even get involved with Freddy's. That is, if it was willing. But the idea is this: what if you befriend the animatronic? Take care of it, tend to it, like a big metal-boned roommate. Surely you will be able to tame their cold hearts, but only so long as you are very, very careful with how you go about this. No two animatronics are the same. So, let's begin at the beginning. Welcome to the guide for taking care of your very own animatronic companion. Before we get started, 3 rules. 1. Respect the animatronic. They might not have souls inside, not the mass-produced ones, but they do have personality chips. Some of them with soft hearts and some with the desire to end your life. 2. Do not try to dismantle or otherwise attack the animatronics on your own. It will absolutely end badly for you. Though I have some options for how to get rid of your companion at the end of the guide, but... 3. This one is most important. Do not directly reach out to Fazbear Entertainment under any circumstances. They will not help you. And if they say they will, be assured that something's about to go very badly. They always have ulterior motives. Now then, let's begin. Let's start by introducing you to your possible companions. The Funtime service had a lengthy list of candidates, but we'll be able to narrow down your exact model. Then we will go through each animatronic's behavior, risk, living requirements, maintenance procedures, and the best way to approach. We will be going through the animatronic's behavior and personality, their living space requirements, risk assessment, cleaning and maintenance, behavior with other animatronics, and the best way to approach them. Starting with the Endo, also known as Endo Model 01. This basic endoskeleton might not look like much, but he has the potential for a lot of personality, and a low enough risk that you might get the chance to reach that potential. Having no suits on, Endos have a mild, underdeveloped personality. They're not very aggressive, timid instead, and adapt to their surroundings well. This means that of all of the animatronics, this is the one who will most likely replicate kindness given to it immediately. He can be your little buddy if you take care to mold him into one. Size and living space. Endos do not have suits, leaving their metal body exposed. They're not very huggable. In fact, brushing up too close can lead to scratches. But they are not bulky and require less space, though they might get caught up on fabrics. Risk assessment. Due to their quieter personality and basic body structures, the Endos are less of a threat. They can be initially aggressive, but you can likely handle them until they calm down. After a few days in your possession, they'll probably stop attacking you. And if they're not, you can probably deflect them rather easily. Endos don't require much maintenance due to their lack of elaborate parts. However, they are very sensitive to water, so all cleaning should be done with computer wipes and air spray. If the Endo's head comes off, which is a possibility, you can usually attach it yourself rather easily. Other limbs might require specific tools to do so. Tools that you probably will not have. Endos can get along with other animatronics, however, they have been known to adapt to the personality of the animatronics they are with, and can also be bullied or pushed around by more aggressive demeanors. So, for example, having an Endo with a Freddy will replicate his mild temperament. Having one with a Funtime Freddy's going to push him around and goad him into turning against you. So, the best way to befriend, go about your day within viewing distance of the Endo so it can watch your normal behavior, while making sure it doesn't charge you. Don't fight back, be defensive. Eventually, it will adapt and become more docile. Then you may approach, where you may introduce it to activities to keep it entertained, such as clicking around on the remote, drawing with crayons, and light dusting. Try to get an outside lock for your bathroom so it doesn't wander in and short-circuit itself either. Unlike many of the other animatronics we're going to be covering, this is basically it. Endo is the simplest case. It really is just a means of being nice to it, with few caveats attached. Here's a word from an Endo owner on their experience. Cheryl writes, "I love my little Indy. I dress him up in costumes for every holiday and he gets really excited. All of my best friends are so jealous that I have a Santa and a leprechaun all in one. He gets afraid during thunderstorms, though, so I'd recommend any Endo friend to have their very own weighted blanket." Well, there you have it. In short, Endos are a rather safe animatronic to get stuck with and may absorb the attention you give to it. Just because he's the safe one, or dare I say, the boring choice, don't let that scare you away. Our next animatronic is none other than Freddy Fazbear. The face of the franchise, this jolly bear might not be as friendly as his mascot counterpart, but maybe there's a big old teddy bear hiding underneath that suit.
Just remember, friends are forever.
Freddy Fazbears are naturally gifted with a friendly and calm personality, one that clashes with its innate drive to attack you, yes, but this means if you can breach those instincts, you will find a mild Papa Bear hiding underneath, a possibly deadly one. He may also wander into your bedroom at night and start flashing his eyes and playing music box music. If he does, pretend to be asleep. Even if he comes over to your side of the bed and starts breathing on you, he will eventually leave. Or he won't, but once you broach 6 a.m., he should be safe to get past. Due to Freddy's size and bulky plush build, he might take up a noticeable amount of space, just like Bonnie and Chica. Expect him to knock over any loose knickknacks, coat racks, or anything else crowding up the way. Though this also means that you can pretty much box him out of any room by just stacking enough stuff in front of it. Note that this will not work with the bedroom, but will with the bathroom, which he tends to wander into. Regular Freddys are only a touch more aggressive than Endos, and a little avoidance during the hours of 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. can go a long way. He is relatively low risk outside of those hours, and his quieter demeanor backs that up. Freddy should be cleaned with a fabric spray and wipes. Carpet sprinkle may be used, but only if you have a relatively gentle vacuum attachment to suck it up with. Avoid getting Freddy's plush body too wet, as his suit may mold and mildew, and it's virtually impossible to reupholster an animatronic in this day and age. If Freddy gets anything stuck inside of him, you may have to pop him open and manually remove the junk he shoved in, but be sure to not handle the music box. If it breaks, you will not be able to acquire a replacement before he becomes very, very aggressive. Behavior with other animatronics. Freddy gets along well with Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy and will actually encourage them to stay more docile when homed with them. Though, counterwise, Freddy may become more active when he has his bandmates living with him. He gets along well with Toy Freddy and, shockingly, Funtime Freddy, but he will become hostile and fight with Springtrap if he's in the home. Now, unlike the Endo, Freddy won't just learn to be nice on his own, and one of the easiest ways to win him over is to actually convince him that he is not acting like Freddy Fazbear when he becomes aggressive. If he starts trying to bite, make sure to say things like, "Freddy Fazbear wouldn't act this way," or, "Freddy, are you feeling okay? You're not acting like yourself." This will encourage Freddy to return to his friendly personality. Make sure to be gentle with Freddy, as he is capable of becoming friends, and once you do, he will not forget you. Here's a word from a Freddy owner on their experience. Charisse writes, "At first, I found Freddy to be kinda scary, but now I couldn't imagine life without my big Papa Bear. He keeps an eye out for intruders at night and wakes me up in the morning with his music box music. It's so much better than my alarm clock. I love, love, love him." So, in short, Freddy is a slightly more risky animatronic to have around, but still on the mild side. This classic bear could make for an excellent, if basic, companion to any home, as long as you're able to give him the patience you hope he returns to you. Next up is Freddy's right-hand man, Bonnie the Bunny, a fixture of Freddy since it first opened its doors. fit with a mild personality and an ear for music, but a strangely aggressive streak. Bonnies tend to be laid back but fierce. What do I mean? Well, mostly they are a quieter Freddy, mellow and relaxed, and tend to be soothed by guitar music as they are programmed to pretend to play the guitar when they hear matching music. But he can be trigger happy. Basically, if you were up against the whole band, Bonnie would be the first one to rush out and try to sucker punch you, so you gotta stay on guard with him. Bonnie stands about the same size as Freddy and requires about the same space, though unlike Freddy, he will not be as prone to wander into the bathroom. He will more than likely linger in the living room and patrol the hallways instead. Bonnie is about as dangerous as Freddy, though in a different way. He is at his most dangerous around strangers, and in the earliest hours of the night, and he tends to calm down over time. Basically, he'll lose his steam and eventually chill out before morning arrives. Same suit cleaning procedure as Freddy's: wipe down, don't get excessively wet, dry carefully, fabric deodorizer works like a charm, but instead of an internal music box, Bonnie has a system dedicated to tuning with and tuning his guitar. If it gets out of tune, he will become testy, even without a guitar, and you will be forced to manually open up his faceplates to reset it. However, you can't retune him without his guitar, so that can be a problem. That I'll get right back to. Also, if Bonnie's face pops off at any time, you should try to return it to him, and if you can, help him put it back in place as soon as possible. That mellowness goes straight out the window whenever his face is missing. Behavior with other animatronics. Bonnie gets along well with Freddy, Chica, and Foxy. When paired with Freddy and Chica, he will tend to go along with any of their behaviors. If they're friendly, he's friendly. If they're aggressive, he's aggressive. Foxy's the outlier as Bonnie's presence seems to calm him down and make him less twitchy. He will become hostile with Springtrap and, surprisingly enough, Toy Bonnie. Having a Toy Bonnie in the house will agitate Bonnie, so it's best to not have both of them together at the same time. The best way to approach. The best way to go about befriending Bonnie is by, first off, go online and find and buy an original Bonnie guitar. It's going to be expensive, but believe me, it'll make your life so much easier. Play guitar music in the meantime to help keep Bonnie somewhat calm, and make sure to lock your bedroom door at night. He'll likely not be agitated enough to break in if he doesn't see you after midnight. The guitar will naturally relax him and usually revert any Bonnie into a docile, showtime state, and will also allow you to tune him when he falls out of sorts. This will keep your Bonnie comfortable and much more open to playing you a little tune. Here's a word from a Bonnie owner on their experience. Charlene writes, "My Bonbon is so incredibly cool. He plays music for me all the time and even takes requests. The only problem is that sometimes he plays at night, but I don't mind. I request some lullabies and he puts me right to sleep, and not in a deadly way." And there we have it. Bonnie has the potential to be a chill musician who just wants to play his guitar all day and take a load off. But that's going to require a little work on your part, including securing him a guitar. A guitarless Bonnie is a Bonnie you don't want to have to deal with. Trust me. Next we have Chica the Chicken, Freddy's sweet sidekick chick, at least when she's well fed. Behavior-wise, Chica is definitely the softest of Freddy's gang. That doesn't mean she can't be dangerous. She really can, especially if she's not able to find snacks rather easily. But she is probably the easiest to pacify of the four, and that is by basically buying your way to her through her stomach. Whether you like it or not too, because Chica will definitely help herself to your pantry, cabinets, and yes, she can open the fridge on her own and won't close it back. Also, she is accompanied by her Cupcake. Mr. Cupcake seems like his own animatronic, but he truly isn't, and while it will wander the house, it wants to stay close to Chica. Do not touch the Cupcake unless Chica expresses distress for it being gone, and then only lift it up in Chica's sight and return it to her. Chica might seem a little plumper than Freddy and Bonnie, but she really isn't. She requires the same amount of space, though she will always meander towards the kitchen, where you may hear her clattering around at night. It's in your best interest to leave food out in easy access. She will find it regardless, but that way she doesn't have to tear up your kitchen to do so. Give her enough food too, and she'll be so distracted you might get a full night's sleep. Chica is just as dangerous as Bonnie, but isn't as quick to lash out and will often get distracted by searching for food. As long as you don't have food in the bedroom, you can probably sleep through the night, as long as you keep your door locked. Make absolutely sure Mr. Cupcake hasn't slipped into your room beforehand, though. Unfortunately, Chica has a nasty problem compared to her bandmates. Due to her obsession with food and desire to eat it, she will often get covered with and filled with it. Outside messes can be dealt with wipes and spray, but you will have to wait until Chica's docile enough to try and squeeze your hand under the cracks of her plush suit and retrieve whatever gunk is inside. Uncomfortable? Yes, but necessary as to keep her from smelling. Chica is also prone to infestation, so it's best to do a daily bug spray routine before roaches even show up. Odds are, they're already there. Behavior with other animatronics, Chica gets along well with Freddy, Bonnie, and Foxy, and helps calm any of them down. She doesn't get along with Springtrap like the others. Shockingly, she is good to have in the same house as Plushtrap, as he will act more calm and friendly with Chica's motherly presence. She also doesn't seem to have much interest in Toy Chica. The best way to approach? Food. But specifically, try to buy food that is easy to clean and won't leave a lot of smell. Chica will appreciate it, usually spending most of the night feeding herself or playing with the pots. Other than that, be friendly and, like I said, give the cupcake a wide berth. If Mr. Cupcake attacks you independently of Chica, try to defend yourself, but only to a reasonable degree. Basically, don't kick the cupcake in front of Chica and you'll do fine. Here's a word from a Chica owner on their experience. Chardonnay writes, I wasn't so sure about Chica when she kept me up all night banging in the kitchen, but now I can't imagine life without her. We make sure to have a pizza party at least twice a week, and now that I leave cupcakes out, she doesn't raid my pantry anymore. Chica is such a sweet addition to my life. So, that's it then. Chica is a fine addition to your home as long as you can adapt to her eating habits, handle her hangry tantrums, and steer clear of Mr. Cupcake. I think you have a pretty good chance of a long-lasting friendship here. And, as expected, she would do best in the home of an aspiring chef. Next is Foxy. Oh boy, Foxy. Foxy is a confounding one because he is a bit more dangerous than his bandmates due to his speed and bafflingly real metal hook, but a quirk of his makes him a lot easier to handle. Behavior and personality, Foxy might initially come off as a gruff pirate bully, and in a way he is. He's got shifty eyes and twitchy legs, meaning he's prone to roaming around and then breaking into a random sprint before barging into whatever room you're in. And then comes the hook. But there's a pretty easy way to deal with homing Foxy. First, you make him a Pirate's Cove area somewhere in the house by hanging up a curtain and maybe some posters or pirate decor. Then, when he breaks into one of his frantic runs, barges in. You've got to be quick on the draw. Arr, you got me, Captain. Great job, Captain Foxy. Shiver me timbers, it's Captain Foxy. You play along, and if you do, Foxy will be encouraged to do so as well.
Arrgh, you scurvy landlubber, never stood a chance.
And then go back to whatever he was doing beforehand. It is very important to stay in pirate character when addressing Foxy to remind him of who he's supposed to be. Plus, it makes him happy. The more you play along, the more he will calm down and become comfortable in his new home. He will still do his nightly runs, but they won't be aggressively charged anymore. And the hook, only dangerous if you hug him the wrong way. Foxy is actually more slender and slightly more dexterous than his bandmates, so he won't bump into stuff as much, but the problem is his spurts of running. If he's really going, he'll just tear right through anything in his way. And the hook, oh boy. He angles it outward and he's gonna catch clothes, tear the couch. I have seen Foxy take down a Christmas tree and then laugh about it. So, try to Foxy-proof your house as best as you can. Risk assessment. Foxy is an odd case. He's a moderate risk due to his build, speed, and built-in weapons, but can be handled accordingly with a little patience and pirate lingo. Just make sure to keep up with it if you want to keep your booty. Foxy's pretty easy to clean. With his somewhat tattered suit, you can more easily get around his fabric suit with some wipes, but take care to not get any liquid into his exposed inner metals. And if you do, take care to dry it quickly. Foxy's head can also be removed to clean around his face, though don't expect him to try to eat like Chica does. Occasionally an internal fuse may go out and you might have to acquire a replacement online. during which Foxy may become especially twitchy, with either his jaws flapping, his hooks swinging, or his feet thumping. But he'll usually be stuck in one place when this happens. Just make sure to stay out of reach and assure him that the new part is on its way. And try to replace it before he gets the urge to get up and start walking around, glitches and all. Behavior with other animatronics. Foxy will get along well with his bandmates, and like I said in the Bonnie section, Bonnie will help keep Foxy more calm, and he won't sprint as much. Foxy will become defensive and agitated if Springtrap is in the house and gets irritated by Toy Bonnie, but seems to get along pretty well with Toy Chica. Having a Mangle in the house, however, will make Foxy gloomy and lethargic. It is best for his mental state that he and Mangle are kept far apart. The best way to get on Foxy's good side is to do your best to treat him like a captain. Speak to him mostly in pirate speech, and don't you dare scold him if he knocks anything over or tears anything up. Try to not lock your bedroom door either, because otherwise he'll just break through it. Making him a little pirate cove area is non-negotiable, but it can be as simple as a curtain if you don't have much space to share. Here's a word from a Foxy owner on their experience. First mate Chelsea writes, "Captain Foxy be the best captain this side o' the seven seas. Belay the guard dog, Captain Foxy keeps his eye out for any danger and sends any landlubbers looking to break into Davy Jones' locker. And he be a fine sport 'bout not running in the house before 4 a.m. And he gets these twitchy legs when Pirates of the Caribbean be on the TV. Is as cute as a deep-sea pearl, 'tis." There we go. So, Foxy could be an excellent companion if you're able to keep up with his needs, and his need to be the captain of his ship. Next is Balloon Boy. First off, I'm sorry. This is about to be a bumpy ride, but that doesn't mean you won't come to love your little menace. Balloon Boy is the most mischievous of the lot by far. While he can be dangerous if he gets really angry, most of the time he's just going to mess with you, hiding your remote, stealing batteries and forks, and really anything small that you notice is gone. He might also squeeze himself into tight areas where you can't see him and then wait there until you find him, hoping to get a rise out of you. After which he will laugh maniacally. And bolt for it. This is going to be your life now, being Balloon Boy's entertainment. But what's good for you is that as long as you're fun to fool, Balloon Boy won't be nearly as primed to lash out for real. Size-wise, Balloon Boy is about half the size of most animatronics, and his large balloon is easy for him to move around as it's fake and stuck to his stick. Because of this, he requires less space and can maneuver around a little easier, though he will always go out of his way to knock stuff over if he gets the urge to. Risk-wise, Balloon Boy is only dangerous when he gets angry, and otherwise he's more of a mischievous gremlin than a real danger, though he will make your life a bit more difficult. Do not snap at him though. He is prone to retaliation if prompted. For cleaning and maintenance, Balloon Boy has a plastic exterior that is easy to wipe down with cleaning wipes, or you can use window cleaner and paper towels too. Really, the hard part is pinning him down long enough to clean him. He will bolt for it, though repeated exposure might stop this. Maybe put the TV on for him or something. As for maintenance, many of the toy line animatronics are resilient and self-contained. If anything breaks in Balloon Boy, you probably can't fix it anyway. But it probably won't break. When it comes to other animatronics, surprisingly enough, Balloon Boy doesn't target them like he does you. And he gets along well with the other toys, being Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica. Not necessarily Toy Foxy. He does get along very well with Plushtrap, but unfortunately might encourage some of his bad behaviors if given the chance. The best way to approach is through extreme patience. Play along, be a good sport, exaggerated reactions, and getting mad, perfect. Getting angry enough to lash out, expect him to go for your shins. But if you play along enough, Balloon Boy will surely warm up to you. He hasn't had many friends even before he became this. He needs someone, and if you can be patient enough to provide that, he might become your best little buddy. Here's a word from a BB owner on their experience. Shara writes, "Balloon Boy gets a bad rap. My little BB is as sweet as can be. I don't mind that he eats batteries. I just buy more and he laughs with joy. He's such a cutie. Also, make sure not to leave any crawl spaces open. He got stuck under my porch and I had to climb under to get him out." Frown face. That's it then. Balloon Boy is an option, so please take care of him. He needs a good home, even if he's gonna act like a rat sometimes. and not the cute ones, the ones that steal everything. Next we have Circus Baby. Circus Baby, the princess of pretend herself. And if you find yourself with her, oh boy, you're looking at a bit of a handful. Personality-wise, don't let her sweet and soft-spoken demeanor fool you. Baby can be manipulative and petty, and will only play nicely when she's playing the long con, waiting for you to get too comfortable before offering to make you some ice cream, or innocently saying there's something stuck inside of her that you must help her fix, or trying to get you to go somewhere with her. Don't let your guard down. No matter how many sob stories she gives you, Baby is looking out for Baby and only Baby first and foremost.
Soon, you will be as broken as I am.
I mean, I wish she would change, but I used to think that if she had a chance, she could get better, but Baby can't help herself. She will slip back into her old ways. You can try to be nice to her, maybe you will get through to her, but never turn your back on her, and never let her know you're onto her, or that sweet exterior will become sour very quickly. Also, don't take ice cream from her. You don't know where it's been. Size-wise, Circus Baby is a big girl. She stands 7 foot tall and has a sizable plated body. That makes it hard for her to fit comfortably in the typical home. But Baby doesn't need much room to toddle around, tending to stay prone while working. Though if she does decide she wants out, she'll find a way despite the body. Lock your bedroom door, she can get in, but she won't risk it. Risk assessment, dangerous. She's big, bold, and built to kill, and really the only reason she doesn't initially kill you is because she needs something from you. Though there's a catch. If you can fool the fool, you'll be safe. If you make Baby think that you're useful while keeping her at arm's length, you can probably cohabitate fine. Just make sure she thinks she's the smartest person in the room. Circus Baby is a Funtime animatronic, which means she has an elaborate set of schematics and step-by-step guides on how to pop her open and painstakingly clean her interior of any debris. She should be technically easy to clean, and being metal plates, she wouldn't absorb much smell, but due to Baby's size and demeanor and sizable stomach hatch and her internal claw, I would stick to cleaning the outside and leaving the inside alone. Thankfully, due to Baby's pride, if she ever does get damaged, she won't let you work on her anyways. Most animatronics don't get along well with Baby. She's bossy and cold. Ballora will constantly avoid her. Her and Funtime Freddy constantly swing back and forth between leader and lackey and mortal enemies in a constant struggle for control and attention. She will also follow any commands given by Springtrap. The only exception to the rule is Toy Chica. They bond over their murderous tendencies, and thankfully for you, if they're together, they'll focus more attention on each other and less on you. Best way to approach. Like I said, you've got to play the pretender. If she thinks you're dumb and useful, she keeps you alive, if only to help take care of her. In a way, there is a part of her still looking for someone to take care of her, I believe. Maybe being sweet to her will convince her to keep you alive, but always be on guard. Don't let the mask slip, and always be prepared to make a run for it. Also, buy an animatronic grade taser. They sell them online, just in case that claw swings out. Here's a word from a Circus Baby owner on their experience. Sharabeth writes, "Circus Baby is such a doll. She is perfect at parties. She can blow up balloons at her fingertips, and even has a built-in ice cream maker that is whisper quiet and can churn a gallon of ice cream in 30 minutes or less. Invite Circus Baby to your next home and have a blast." That'll be it then. Good luck with her. You're going to need it. Next on the roster is, oh my god. Sorry, he just took me off guard a little. Just look at him. He'd take anyone off guard. And unfortunately, he might currently be living with you. Which means you aren't stuck with a killer robot, you're stuck with a real bona fide murderer. The real horror of Freddy's. He might act like he's the most human, but don't be fooled, he never was.
Hide if you want. It did not save the others. It will not save you.
Springtrap is a sadistic, manipulative monster who takes a unique thrill in hunting humans as his prey, especially those who cannot defend themselves, torture them, twist them, and then kills them. And then, if he gets his way, they don't move on and he uses them as his eternal toys. Springtrap loves to kill, so unless he really needs you alive, he'll want you dead. And unfortunately, his undead form makes him dangerous to adults now as well. And due to his peculiar interests, it might be a matter of overpowering and killing you, or trying something much longer and more agonizing. And you better hope you don't live with someone he can target in your stead. He's just a cruel, evil creature. Don't let the smooth talking fool you. He's not going to hang out on your couch eating kebabs and singing the blues. He is always looking to serve his own enjoyment. He's also extremely egotistical, so assume that he is going to let you know exactly how he's feeling about his victory, how pathetic you are, and laugh at your misfortune. Size-wise, he only takes up about the same space as Freddy, maybe less. He moves more like a human, though with a noticeable limp, meaning he won't be so prone to bumping into things, and isn't petty enough to destroy your things, save whatever he decides to claim for himself. Do yourself a favor. Take the utensil drawer out of the house and as far away as you can take it. Not just the knives. Take the forks and the spoons too. You don't want them near him. Also, due to his current state of decay and rot, assume that anything he touches, sits on, or carpet he stands on too long will become funky and possibly so contaminated that you will need to burn it. In fact, I'd burn anything he touches. Risk assessment. Extremely dangerous. He might seem weak to his stumbling and zombie-like appearance, but that's not the case, and due to his compulsion to kill, it's impossible to befriend him. Unless you're able to prove that you're like an especially fearful and meek person who will do whatever he says, and even then assume that he will test you. I won't blame you if you buckle to him, but if you get to that point, there's not going to be a happy ending, even if you live. Cleaning and maintenance. Okay, let's discuss the elephant in the room. Springtrap is not a traditional animatronic. He is a corpse skewered inside of an animatronic, and that gunk oozing out of him is authentic bodily remains, stinking up the inside of his suit and rotting through the holes. This is why he's so massively moldy. He's totally rancid. And no, there's absolutely no cleaning or repairing him. First off, don't be fooled. He is functioning perfectly fine despite the fact that he is far from working order. He doesn't need you fixing him. If desperate enough, he'll repair himself, but that means admitting that he's not untouchable. As for the smell, your best bet is to avoid him as much as you can, because him finding out that his stench makes you gag will be a quick way to get a knife between the eyes. He won't much appreciate you spraying him down with fabric spray, and even then any smell of flowers, cinnamon, ocean breeze, none of that is making a dent in the wall of stank. If you can get away with a facial mask dipped in peppermint oil, like the ones they use in the hospital, go for it. When it comes to other animatronics, Springtrap would rather be alone, likely because most other animatronics want him dead. Freddy and his band will become more aggressive and restless, the toys will start to become twitchy and their eyes will do all sorts of weird things, Ballora will become extremely squirrely, expect to find her contorted under your bed to avoid him. God help you if Golden Freddy's there, oof. The only ones who will tolerate Springtrap are Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, and Plushtrap. Circus Baby will immediately start taking commands from him, doing whatever she can to impress him despite the fact that he could care less. Funtime Freddy will antagonize Springtrap, and Springtrap loathes him. They have a history, but like Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy will buckle to whatever Springtrap commands him to do, likely due to programming. The only one he shows a shred of favor to is Plushtrap. Plushtrap, the poor thing, idolizes Springtrap on the basis of being a big yellow bunny, well, yellowish, and he will go out of his way to waver between trying to emulate him and trying to appease him. I don't think Springtrap enjoys this out of any form of affection, but because it too feeds back into his own gratification. Makes sense that the only thing Springtrap could love is something close to himself. Though he may get impatient with Plushtrap, so be sure to separate if need be, for Plushtrap's sake. Best way to approach. The only way to approach and survive Springtrap is to either be an obedient pawn or a convincing obsessive fan. That sounds silly, but hear me out. His only weakness is his ego and hubris. That's how he wound up in that rotting suit in the first place. Your only chance is if he can use you, or if, for some reason, you fulfill a need for him. And the only need he has beyond the need to satisfy his bloodlust is someone to satisfy his enormous ego. Though I have yet to see anyone get close enough to be a true partner. Even his past partners have been pawns, but there's always a chance. If he could slip up just enough to wind up here as Fazbear Entertainment's abandoned puppet, then he's not as invincible as he seems. Let's hear from someone? Someone, Anonymous writes, a former father and well-trusted member of the community, William Afton, or Springtrap, is perfect for a family with children. Remember when I told you to not rat out your animatronics to Fazbear Entertainment? I think I'm reconsidering my stance. I mean, between you and me, I think the guy's a lost cause. He obviously made up his mind. Why don't you just cut your losses and torch the house? But anyway, on to the next one, and into the first of the toys. Toy Chica. For some reason, Toy Chica has a lot of fans due to her fit physique, so you might consider yourself pretty lucky to have her. But she's got an unfortunately homicidal streak, so you'll have to watch your back.
Did someone invite me to a party? Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
With how many sweet flirtations she may throw at you, but don't be fooled, it's absolutely to disarm you. And the only way you're leaning in for a kiss is if she's going in for a bite. And yes, the beak does come off, and what's hiding underneath ain't so pretty. That being said, Toy Chica isn't a master manipulator like Baby. As sinister as she is, she can be bought out pretty well with compliments, gifts, even the ones she can't really eat. Basically, fake romancing Toy Chica is a possibility to get her interested in keeping you alive, but not real romance unless you're like into that yandere, what's it called? Yandere? That thing where they love you but they also kill you at the drop of a hat. Also, if she gets those cuckoo crazy eyes, you're going to have to throw on that Freddy mask that you were no doubt using to defend yourself before Toy Chica got dumped at your house. This is really needed for all the toys except Baby, but sometimes their facial recognition kicks in and they will lose themselves. They start hunting. The mask will trick them long enough to snap them out of it. Though in Toy Chica's case, the urge to kill never truly goes away. Toy Chica is actually quite slender, and unlike Chica, Toy Chica's cupcake doesn't tend to wander off on its own. And also, unlike Chica, she won't go scavenging through your kitchen. She will wander around, specifically to follow you behind your back, but not usually knock much over. And unfortunately, due to that sizing, she can easily get around your house like it's nothing. Make sure to lock your doors and have a very good excuse for why you did when she starts yelling through the door. Ignoring won't work unless you can genuinely pretend like you were asleep. Risk assessment, Toy Chica is sizably dangerous. She moves faster than the classic Chica you remember, she gets through your house easier, the beak comes off, and worst of all, unlike many of the animatronics who will eventually soften up with compassion and care, Toy Chica has an innate urge to kill that just won't go away. So you will always be watching your back unless you have another animatronic to watch it for you. Cleaning and maintenance-wise, Toy Chica is one of the few animatronics who will get personally offended if you don't assist in keeping her clean. But she's also another one with a plasticky shell, so basically you have to establish a cleaning time and then very carefully wipe her down and reapply her cheek makeup and possible eyeshadow. If her eyes disappear, they're not missing. She took them out on her own and doesn't require replacement. However, Toy Chica's beaks are notorious for their hooks breaking and it becoming impossible to reattach them. If that happens, you'll either have to hot glue the hook back and hope it holds, or figure out a better replacement. It doesn't require any specific kind of hook as long as you can match the size. And if you have to replace one, go ahead and replace the other one too so it matches. Make sure to have a snug fit or Toy Chica will flip out and try to chomp your fingers. With other animatronics, Toy Chica gets along with the other toys, especially Toy Bonnie. Those two are like two peas in a pod sometimes. She also gets along well with Baby, who she shares an amount of interest in the dispatching of others with. It's a popular talking point. Between the two, obviously Toy Bonnie is the better choice for you because he won't give her ideas. Toy Chica also has a strange sort of jealousy streak and will grow agitated around any competition, such as the original Chica and Ballora, so try to keep her separated from them. The best way to approach compliments first and foremost, and gifts, even if they're the most shallow, unusable for her gifts imaginable. In this case, the thought really does count. Be careful not to get too close though, and if she tries to lure you into a quiet place to be alone together, don't fall for it. She's just looking to make sure nobody, not even the neighbors, will hear when she headbutts you into oblivion. Keep your guard up, but make it seem like you're totally falling for her. Here's a word from a Toy Chica owner on their experience. Charlene writes, "Having Toy Chica as my big sister has changed my whole life. She's taught me how to beat the popular girls, get any boy I want, and even talk to my mean teacher. I haven't seen him around much since. But that's okay. She said she's going to talk to the head cheerleader too about getting me on the team. I love Toy Chica." So there you have it. Watch yourself around her. She's a little two-faced, literally. Keep an eye out and watch for the face change. That's the biggest tip-off that things are about to go majorly downhill. Next, we have another toy to the roster, and that's Toy Bonnie. The self-proclaimed superstar of the toy band. Don't let the cutesy appearance fool you. He's dangerous. But maybe not as much as you might think he is. Toy Bonnie is a bit of a braggart. He's brimming with confidence and a cutesy charm, but don't mistake it as harmless fun. He can be very aggressive, especially if he thinks you're competition for the spotlight. But maybe not as dangerous as some of the others. A little delusional, though.
Clear the stage, for the star of our show is now here.
He thinks he's the greatest and will convince himself that you, someone in your own home, is something he has to compete with. And compete usually means booting you off the stage and off this mortal plane. But this ego and self-importance can be a great weakness of his, as is his reluctance to harm his own pretty casing. By which I mean, Toy Bonnie won't be breaking in any doors or the like, not wanting to chip his plated painting, but he will try to crawl through any openings you leave unchecked. Due to Toy Bonnie's svelte build, he doesn't require much space, and he's also willing and able to squeeze himself through tight spaces if it means getting to where he wants to go. He's prone to wandering around and can be kept out by a normal door, but if you keep him specifically barred from a place in the house, he will try to get in there just because he feels like he deserves to. Really, if you want to lose him for a while, lock yourself in a random room, climb out the window, sneak back in, and go to bed. It'll take him a while to figure out you're not actually in there. Risk assessment, Toy Bonnie can be dangerous. He's just as capable as Toy Chica. He just doesn't take the same thrill out of killing. It's more a constant need to seek attention, and his deluded belief that you may be stealing it. Think of it this way, you're either his audience or his rival, and that will decide how dangerous he is. Toy Bonnie is very easy to keep clean. He's a bit of a neat freak, and really the only hands-on you need to do other than spritzes and paper towel wipes is the occasional paint touch-up. Having his face paint off will give Toy Bonnie those crazy eyes and lead to him becoming very agitated, so you will have to paint him. Don't worry, you're at zero risk when painting him, he needs you too much. Otherwise, he's pretty stable and doesn't require much maintenance. Toy Bonnie gets along well with the other toy animatronics, but if you have a Bonnie in the house, Toy Bonnie will do his best to assert his dominance as the perfect Bonnie, and that will tick Bonnie off to no end. He will become extremely aggressive towards Springtrap, but I think that's just because it's another Bonnie. Now, fun fact, but while Toy Bonnie loves attention, there is one person he cannot stand to get attention from. For some hilarious reason, Funtime Freddy will always mistake Toy Bonnie for Bonbon, even if Bonbon is currently stuck to his hand. He will proceed to tail Toy Bonnie everywhere and engage with him as though he is Bonbon. This will, understandably, greatly annoy Toy Bonnie, though it may make Funtime Freddy more docile. Unless Toy Bonnie actively hates you, in which case he could maybe persuade Funtime Freddy to become your worst nightmare. So unless you and Toy Bonnie are really good friends, you should keep him away from Funtime Freddy. The best way to approach. So remember when I said that Toy Bonnie may see you as his audience? Well, you've got to be his biggest fan. And unlike with someone like Springtrap, it's going to be really easy. Toy Bonnie already thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread, so all you've got to do is butter him up and keep your distance until you do. Then you basically have to just consistently keep up the act. As long as you treat him like a superstar, he'll treat you like an adoring fan and love you like one. Be sure to encourage him to sing as well. That always makes him feel good since he didn't usually sing at the pizzeria due to his chipmunk-like voice. Though this will mean listening to a chipmunk sing having a pepperoni party on and off for days on end. Trust me, it's worth avoiding the crazy eyes. Also, if he gets those, mask up. Here's a word from a Toy Bonnie owner on their experience. Charity writes, I love my Toy Bonnie. He's the cutest, shiniest animatronic ever. And he even crooned me a whole Christmas album in his super sharp, adorable voice. I'm so glad I got the best Bonnie to be my Bonnie, my superstar. And that's that. Good luck with Toy Bonnie. And remember, shiny, cute, superstar. Pepper them into your compliments and you're good to go. Next is Toy Freddy, the rounder, more plastic version of Freddy. But don't let that fool you. He is definitely the softest animatronic by far. Toy Freddy is the one animatronic who wants to stick around. but that doesn't mean he doesn't have his own share of risks. If I could describe Toy Freddy in one word, it would be lonely. He's never been the most popular anything, and because of that, he clings to any form of attention or affection. When he asks to be your friend, he genuinely means it, even if most of what he says is recycled from his show stage scripts. He doesn't want to hurt you. He wants to be your buddy.
You seem nervous. Would you like me to be your friend?
There's only two problems with Toy Freddy. One, he gets fiercely competitive with video games, so watch your six if you invite those into the equation. And two, and more importantly, he has the same stranger danger programming that Toy Chica and Toy Bonnie have. So during initial introductions, Toy Freddy might reluctantly become aggressive towards you, even if he doesn't want to. But if you can last long enough, those urges will eventually go away as you upgrade from stranger to acquaintance to buddy. Also, please put away your gaming consoles. Toy Freddy is a bit bulkier than the other toys, but only about as much as the classics. Because of this, you'd think it wouldn't be too hard to make space. But there is one problem. Toy Freddy is a huge klutz. He will bump into anything and everything with little provocation. You can't nail down enough stuff to Toy Freddy-proof your house, so your best option is to just move anything valuable into places where Toy Freddy won't go. He's prone to following you around, but he's likely not going to sift through your closets, especially since he can't fit into them. The risk assessment: Toy Freddy has the means to be dangerous, but he won't be unless his programming goes on the fritz, and in those cases, mask up and ride it out. Elsewise, your biggest risk is if Toy Freddy trips and falls on you, or if he gets wound up playing a video game and starts throwing controllers. Really, I mean it, keep those away from him. He might want to play them and he might say he won't get angry, but he will. And if he does, well, if he starts getting frustrated, just offer to take over and don't screw up. Your best option, but try to avoid it altogether. Cleaning and maintenance: like with Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica, window cleaner, paper towels, wet wipes, dust collector wipes should be shiny and clean. Toy Freddy is pretty resistant to damage, even if he falls over a lot. His paint might get scratched up, but he's less concerned about how he looks. Though significant paint deterioration will lead to him getting mopey and sad, so try to touch him up when you can. Toy Freddy pretty much gets along with everyone on his side, save Springtrap. He especially tries to get attention from Freddy and Funtime Freddy, wanting to pal around with the other Freddys. And this works well enough with Classic Freddy, but Funtime Freddy, well, most animatronics except for the toys might get annoyed with Toy Freddy's neediness. You'll basically have to take turns with any other animatronics to distract Freddy so he doesn't drive everyone insane. Winning Toy Freddy over is especially easy. All you have to do is be relatively nice and don't blow your fuse at him too much. Show appreciation through kind words. He's not used to getting them. And playing relaxing games. He won't rage quit board games, though he is likely to accidentally knock the pieces and possibly the entire table over. You can try video games if you choose exceptionally easy ones, or ones where losing isn't as big of a deal. Be sure to offer help if he gets frustrated, though tread lightly in those cases. Make sure he knows that you appreciate him, and in the first few months, make sure to keep a mask on hand for emergencies. Here's a word from a Toy Freddy owner on their experience. Sharanda writes, "I wasn't so sure of Toy Freddy when I first got him. I thought he was the most boring animatronic I could have gotten stuck with. But now I realize that underneath that tough shell hides a heart of gold. I can't imagine waking up in the morning without Toy Freddy greeting me with a donut and sometimes coffee. It depends on if he can make it to my room without dropping it. Toy Freddy is the best. P.S. Don't play Freddy Party with him." And that's it. On the whole, this lonely bear has the chance to make a good companion for anyone patient to his clingy behavior and possible defunct programming. Would work better in a house of a non-gamer if possible. Next up is the final of the toys and the most busted up package deal you've ever set your eyes on, and that's Toy Foxy, the most sympathetic animatronic of all, in desperate need of a good home, but too dangerous for their own good. Toy Foxy, also known cruelly as the Mangle, isn't just physically broken. They're mentally shattered as well. The one lesser head is a little more aware of what's going on, but the dominant one has delusions of grandeur, believing that they are beautiful and wanting to spread this beauty to others. Because, see, if everyone looks as destroyed as they do, they, in comparison, will finally look normal. Mangle's idea of beauty and self-image is so warped that they will kill those who get close, not out of aggression, but out of an imposed belief that they are doing them a favor. Though don't take that the wrong way, they will get angry if provoked, and you don't have to do much to provoke them.
Don't tell anyone, but they're all just jealous of how pretty I am.
Occasionally, Mangle will have moments of lucidity and break down further, and you may want to comfort them. But the problem is that they can flip on a dime so fast that it's simply not safe to get too close. Everything must be done at a distance, and with the chance to put a door in between you. But keep in mind, Mangle is not cruel. They are simply a result of an extremely traumatic past of being torn apart and rebuilt. But that doesn't mean that they can't be a danger to you. Also, they've been known to randomly make loud static noises. If you hear that, don't approach. They're not injured, well, more than usual, and that can suggest that they're agitated, well, more than usual. Due to Mangle's sprawled out frame of limbs, they take up quite a bit of space and have to crawl to get wherever they want. They also have an affinity for crawling on the walls and ceiling, so expect them to break light fixtures and knock down anything you have hung up. They can't get through doors well, but they will try to squeeze into any crawl spaces, attic spaces, or anywhere else equally dark and cramped if just to get around a door. They also have a great deal of strength. Their reluctance to break down a door is more a programming effect than an inability to do so. Risk assessment, Mangle is an extremely high risk, both in their broken body making them dexterous and dangerous, and their fractured mental state giving them a reason to want to harm you and validate doing so. Because of this, having a Mangle is only recommended if you have other animatronics in the house, as they may make them less bold. Cleaning and maintenance, there is so much that could be done for Mangle that you just can't do because they will not let you get close. Or they will, but it's highly risky. Even cleaning is a danger. What you can do, though, is help with fallen pieces. Things will drop off a Mangle, and usually they don't notice until they've lost sight of it, which will send them into a furious search. Find the piece and put it out where they can see it, get to a safe spot, call them to get it. That's the best you can do at this time. They may appreciate it. Maybe it'll even wear them down a bit. Despite believing themselves to be the prettiest animatronic, Mangle holds a sort of reluctance towards being around any other animatronic other than the toys. Mangle will also insult and provoke Foxy, though due to their broken state, Foxy will not fight back. Mangle has an especially strange rivalry with Ballora of all animatronics. Mangle must be aware that Ballora is the most conventionally attractive animatronic, because they will get very agitated with her being in the house. But not only that, Ballora's mini-renas have been known to try and snatch Mangle's pieces. Then they bite down on the mini-renas, then Ballora comes looking for a brawl, and the next thing you know, the living room's in ruins. Keep these two apart, please. The best way to approach, I'm not sure if Mangle can be truly rehabilitated, but there are steps you can take if you want to try. Firstly, give Mangle a wide berth. Assure them that she is beautiful, but don't overdo it. You don't want him to decide to reconstruct your face. And if things start dropping off of him, offer help that doesn't require hands-on work until you're sure she can handle it. Always keep the mask nearby in case you need it, and know that this will be a very long road. But I believe in your determination. Here's a word from a Mangle owner on their experience. Charlie Ann writes, "Poor Mangle deserves all the love in the world. They might not let me hug them, but I'm glad to give them a safe home in these tough times, and maybe someday they'll be able to trust again. If ever they fall apart, I will put them back together." So, there you are. It's a big undertaking with a lot of risk, but maybe you can be the one to rebuild Mangle's broken mind and heart. Moving on to our next terrifyingly beautiful bot, we have Ballora the Ballerina, a lovely but otherwise dangerous animatronic. You may be allured by her elegant grace, but make no mistake, under those pretty plates are some very sharp teeth. Ballora is a lovely dancer, easy on her feet and on the eyes, and with a personality to match. Ballora is graceful and calm, with a bit of a flirtatious edge at times. At least, that's what Ballora is supposed to be. But years of being trapped down in the depths, torn apart repeatedly, has broken her up. Now she has a feral, almost animalistic temper on her at times.
Save me a dance for another day, perhaps.
She may be more coy, luring you in with an alluring voice, or she might shed all pretenses and crawl along the floor like a spider, waiting to pounce. Built to distract more than to attack, being under the thumb of those who would use and break her down has left her distrusting of anyone who gets too close. Look too eager around Ballora and you'll make yourself prey before you even have a chance to betray her like the others have. But Ballora is not alone. There's also her mini-renas, small little ballerina dolls that can swarm you in seconds and make themselves a pretty big menace, despite how cute they are. Though mini-renas themselves tend to match Ballora's moods, basically if you end up with a docile Ballora, her mini-renas too will be gentle. Though they've been known to climb into laundry hampers, get into pots and pans, you'll basically find mini-renas squeezed in everywhere. One might even try to climb into your mouth while you're sleeping, but you definitely wake up from this. An aggressive Ballora and the mini-renas will plot to make sure she can get to you unheeded. Never get aggressive with a mini-rena. If you need to remove it from your person, pull it off and set it down. Don't throw, drop, or kick on purpose. If Ballora sees you attack any mini-renas, she will become permanently hostile. If you accidentally trip over one in the middle of the night, she'll likely let it go. Ballora's not too much larger than a normal human. Well, she's 6 feet tall, but she's not especially bulky. The problem is that Ballora will want to dance. Even without a stage, a Ballora will try to dance on her own with twirls and spins. If you get lucky, you get one in perfect condition who is able to keep her balance, but her legs will still knock stuff over, including you if you get too close. But if you get one with broken balance and stability sensors, she might be crashing into stuff. And you can't very well stop her. This is just what she does. Honestly, if she wants to dance instead of hunt you, let her do it. Like I said earlier, the mini-renas will get into anything, so it's best to hide away anything you don't want them to get into and leave out plenty of decoy boxes and stuff for them to climb around in instead. Risk-wise, Ballora is a high-risk and very dangerous animatronic, but this is largely because of the circumstances she's been in. Normally, she's just built to distract and deter adults, and maybe if you can give her a stable home, maybe you can get her back into that mindset. But until then, you may be fighting tooth and nail to keep her from killing you. You'll need a taser for defense, but know this, use it even once and you'll lose any chance of winning her trust. Like with Circus Baby, Ballora does have various means to open her plates and clean the internal metal wiring, but considering that she lacks Baby's ice cream maker and internal storage tank, likely nothing moldy or actively decaying will get caught up inside of her. In fact, most of the time that's where the mini-renas are hiding. So, fall back on the good old window spray and paper towels. She might also appreciate if you touch up her face paint now and then. Ballora gets along best with her mini-renas. She's also one of the few animatronics who tolerates Funtime Freddy. She does not get along with nor wants to be anywhere near Circus Baby, but is forced to comply with her plans if coerced. It's a programming thing. If Springtrap is in the house, Ballora will do her best to avoid and hide from him. However, she may show a rare protective streak if he starts antagonizing certain animatronics, such as Balloon Boy, Plushtrap, or the mini-renas. If Mangle is in the house, Mangle will instigate Ballora out of jealousy, and while Ballora could care less, her mini-renas are prone to retaliation with mischief. If Mangle lashes out at them, Ballora is going to split her face and bite back, quite literally. The best way to approach: start off with a comfortable distance and don't approach unless directly instructed to. Try to avoid Ballora when she's crawling, as she may be geared up for an attack, but when she's upright and dancing, be sure to compliment, be courteous, and don't gawk, and don't get kicked, and don't kick the mini-renas. Ballora is similar to Mangle, but also very different. While she too has gone through so much and is very broken, she seemingly lacks Mangle's delusions, so it is possible that maybe with time and assurance she could learn to trust again. But don't forget, at her core she is a Funtime. She is still built to kill, or to cooperate in killings, so watch your back. Here's a word from a Ballora owner on their experience. Charnette writes, "Ballora is so gorgeous. Having her in my home is like having a life-sized music box twirling around the room. I just wish she'd be as loving to me as she is to her mini-renas. I've named them Enette, Minette, Minette, and Moette. They are all little darlings." So that's that. Ballora is a dangerous one to take in, but if you're determined enough, this Ice Queen might warm up her heart to you. Just be careful not to get burned. Next up on the agenda is Plushtrap, the tiniest little guy you've ever seen, but still packs a punch with his raging chompers. Plushtrap is a pretty mischievous little guy, dangerous too, but more so wanting to act up. He's prone to scurrying around the house, hiding in cupboards and underneath tables, waiting for you to get close. Then, depending on his mood, he'll either jump out and scare you or just straight up bite your calf. Plushtrap is a literal ankle biter, and both has a need to chomp and is in a permanent state of teething and will want to chew on anything he can. But Plushtrap also has an anxious side. His chattering is a nervous tic that he might express if cornered. He's not comfortable being caught when he's up to something, usually dropping into a sort of fake toy mode, and he gets easily spooked by loud noises, thunder, lightning, and soda cans popping in his teeth. Plushtrap will act up more if he feels insecure and unsafe, so try to make your little Freddy cat less uneasy and he'll be less prone to nip at you specifically. Plushtrap is tiny, but he will get into everything, and worse still, he is prone to chewing up door frames, furniture, anything he can get a hold of. He won't chew through wires though. He's obviously been shocked before and won't risk it again. But he will chew on other electronics, shoes, and anything else. So Plushtrap is another animatronic who needs some serious proofing. Risk assessment-wise, Plushtrap can be dangerous, but usually the ones you're going to run into are looking to scare you and bite you more so. Though with his chompers, a bite could result in a lot of bleeding. Best to keep aware of where he is in the house and watch your legs at all times. And don't antagonize him. A less nervous Plushtrap will prefer to pop out and scare instead of bite. Cleaning and maintenance-wise, this really depends on how close you can get. If Plushtrap's in the nippy phase, just don't bother. If he's started to warm up to you, you can use fabric spray and wet wipes to clean him up. Set him on your lap and give him a quick clean. He might fuss, but be sure to be patient and get around his gums. If any of his teeth get loose, they will affect his bite and bother him. So if you can, carefully remove them with tweezers. It won't hurt him and will help his jaw, but make absolutely sure he's tame and calm enough to do so. He is quite a finger trap. Plushtrap gets along with many animatronics, but some of them might rub off on him. Chica can be a good influence, reassuring Plushtrap and helping him keep calm, leading him to not act out as much. On the opposite side, Balloon Boy might encourage him to act out more. And Springtrap, you don't want him around Plushtrap. Plushtrap mistakenly believes that Springtrap is just a bigger him, which he kind of is, and he admires him. He will fawn over him and try to mimic him, which Springtrap will encourage until he gets frustrated and lashes out. It's best to keep Plushtrap away from him, and if you don't, and Ballora's in the house, she will. The best way to approach. Okay, you gotta treat Plushtrap like what he is. An angry little chihuahua that could snap at any moment, and one with the mentality of a mischievous little gremlin. Though, maybe not as much so as Balloon Boy. Appeal to his more nervous nature and offer him a gentle hand, a safe home, and plenty of chew toys to sink his teeth into. And other toys too. Plushtrap is one of the few animatronics that will actively play with toys, so feel free to buy him like one of those little plastic jeeps to drive himself around with. Here's a word from a Plushtrap owner on their experience. Charnay writes, "My little Plushtrap is adorable. He likes to chew on my couch pillows, so I bought him a rawhide and now he carries it around with him everywhere. Sometimes when I'm sleeping on the couch, he climbs onto my head and chews at my hair, but I don't mind it so much. He's the perfect little companion, but maybe don't use strawberry-scented shampoo like I did." So that's that. Take care of your Plushtrap and he will show that softer side behind those sharp teeth. Then there is Golden Freddy. So, I didn't really discuss it. I mentioned it earlier, but I didn't really go into it. But as you probably know, these animatronics aren't the original haunted mascots of their restaurants. They're replications, using personality chips. And while they do have sentience and can feel emotions like love and anger, they are not haunted in the traditional sense. I can't say for sure, but I think this might be the real Golden Freddy. I don't know which of its pieces is still holding up, but I'm almost certain it's them in there. And that's not really a good thing for you. Golden Freddy is unpredictable in every way, highly aggressive sometimes. Sometimes he stays slumped in a corner watching the world go by. Other times he gets up on unsteady limbs and starts to wander around like he's looking for something. But whatever he wants, he's not going to find it. He doesn't trust anyone anymore, and getting his attention on you will almost always absolutely lead to him lashing out. Living with Golden Freddy is more so living adjacent to Golden Freddy than with. Golden Freddy is the same size as Freddy but requires much more space because you will need to always give him his distance. Even if he suddenly appears in the room with you, keep your guard up and give him a lot of room. It's almost like he's daring you to get close, but you don't want to play that game. Despite his loose movements and twitchiness while standing, he's very unlikely to bump into anything, like he's not even there. Risk-wise, Golden Freddy is very dangerous. To put it in perspective, if he wanted you dead, you'd be in for a huge fight that you'd likely lose. But that's not how he works. He will instead follow and stalk, lash out in smaller ways, a bad smell, a suffocating feeling of being unable to catch your breath, the soft mutters of, "It's me," in the back of your head. And that's with distance. Watch your back with him. He doesn't want you any closer. Cleaning and maintenance-wise, absolutely no cleaning or maintenance can be done to Golden Freddy. Odds are he's somewhat intangible anyway, and that bad smell isn't coming from anything on him but everything in him. While it mistakenly seems like Golden Freddy doesn't interact with the others, he does. He will whisper to and influence the classics to be more aggressive towards you, upon which you will have to work double time to get them back on your side. He is also extremely aggressive towards Springtrap, and if the classics are in the house, he will rally them against him, which will lead to a huge brawl that may damage your house. The best way to approach, don't. Give him distance and do your best to not acknowledge him unless it seems like he's trying to get your attention. Don't get too close. Okay, to be completely honest, Golden Freddy is really hard to decipher. He's less like a person or an animal and more like a force of nature, and he's stuck in your house right now. Just take care. Be as careful as can be, and if you start getting the feeling that he's actively trying to kill you, just get out of the house and give him a few days to cool down. Here's a word from a Golden Freddy owner on their experience. It just says it's me. Golden Freddy's pretty rare anyways. The chance of you getting him, practically non-existent, so cross that bridge if you get it, and don't be so quick to burn it. Chances are he's just going to come back no matter how many times you do anyways. But, moving to another Freddy, and only slightly less homicidal Freddy, or more so, Funtime Freddy, the last of the available Funtimes, and the one that'll be the biggest pain in the neck. Especially if he's actively lopping your head off of it. Funtime Freddy is bubbly, gleeful, and giggly, a good sport with a pretty good sense of humor, would be an entertaining roommate. If not for his murderous tendencies. See, his favorite topic is torture, death, execution style, all that sadistic shtick that you'd expect from an Afton creation. Funtime Freddy does it with a smile and a mocking laugh at your expense.
Well, hello again!
And there's no question about it, right off the bat, he will be thinking of all the ways he can kill you, and the only reason he doesn't is probably because he hasn't come up with a good one yet. Don't ever squeeze into his belly. If he's a bigger model, he might try to lure you in, but don't fall for it. That's where he keeps his most efficient tools for his trade. He's also not alone. Funtime Freddy comes with a Bonnie hand puppet known as Bon Bon, who is both on the same wavelength as him, and can hop off his wrist and give you trouble on its own.
You can't catch me!
These two are very loyal to one another, and Bon Bon will almost always do what Funtime Freddy says. In fact, Funtime Freddy might be directly in control of Bon Bon, but if he is, Bon Bon doesn't seem to mind at all. Needless to say, you've got to watch your back and your ankles with these two. Funtime Freddy models can get pretty big and might require more space, but he tends to get himself around pretty easily. If he knocks anything over, he's doing it on purpose, likely to get you to come pick it up. It depends on if he punctuates it with a loud oops or something like that. He'll wander, but not that far, just far enough to know the areas you use most by heart. He wants your schedule. He wants it to look like an accident. Always lock your bedroom door at night. Funtime Freddy can break through, but he won't bash down a door and come in. He's trying to be subtle here. Risk assessment, yep, Funtime Freddy is pretty dangerous. That is, he really wants to kill you, but as long as you're outside his reach, you can probably fight him off through the usual taser technique. They really work on Funtimes especially, though once Freddy's downed, Bonbon might pop off and start giving you problems. The good part, however, is that if you're intending to try to befriend Funtime Freddy, he probably won't care if you shocked him before. It's not a one and done like with, say, Ballora. Funtime Freddy has a long memory, but he wouldn't be able to dish it out if he couldn't take it. And he, shockingly enough, will only have hard feelings about you getting away more than jolting him. In theory, Funtime Freddy should be easy to clean with chrome plating and could be easily opened for repairs. But this is Funtime Freddy, the bear with the execution chamber in his belly. You do not want to get that close. Any cleaning he can't reach for, he can get with Bonbon, so don't fall for his pleas of assistance unless he is actively missing an arm. Funtime Freddy has, by far, the weirdest string of interactions with the other animatronics. He gets along fine with Freddy, he bullies Toy Freddy, he butts heads and readily insults Circus Baby, but will still do her bidding under a little coercion. He tries to boss around Ballora and fails miserably. He follows Springtrap around like a vulture, expecting to pick up any remains he leaves behind, mocking him as he does so, but also forced to adhere to any direct commands. And weirdest of all, he almost always mistakes Toy Bonnie for a big Bonbon and will start talking to him like he is Bonbon, much to his chagrin. I don't know if Funtime Freddy is playing dumb or if it's a programming bug, but I could believe either. He really likes Toy Bonbon. He really likes Toy Bonbon even when Bonbon is attached to his arm. And neither Bonbons really like that. So the best way to approach, I found that there's only really two ways to get on Funtime Freddy's good side, and out of target territory, and that's by either proving that you're a useful ally or that you're good entertainment. Giving him a home to hide in helps, but maybe try to engage in joking and conversations. He really likes to talk about deaths. So, if you want to talk about interesting or ironic deaths with him, you might catch his attention. Try to not give him any ideas though. Stick to ironic deaths that he can't possibly replicate. Play the role of someone sickly interested in harming others, not being harmed yourself, and you can maybe fool Funtime Freddy into believing he has a like-minded friend. But also, never let your guard down. He's a backstabber. You'll win over Bonbon when you win over Funtime Freddy. It's difficult to get them alone anyways, and if you do get Bonbon alone, you can just be nice to it. It's not nearly as cruelly sadistic when it's not attached to Funtime Freddy. Here's a word from a Funtime Freddy owner on their experience. Shirilli writes, Funtime Freddy is so goofy. He's really brightened up my boring life. I used to be so gloomy all the time, like I was stuck in my shadow. But here he comes to cheer me up. If not with a joke or two, then with him telling them in a fake German accent. He does that sometimes. Funtime Freddy makes me laugh about things I never thought I would think were so funny. Well, that sounds like a very positive review for a bear with a few positive attributes, but okay. Glad she's having a good time with him. Maybe you'll have the same, but like I said, watch your back. And finally, there's one left. Lefty, ironically. There's only one of these roaming around, so if you've got it, congratulations. Though that is a double-edged sword, as you just got stuck with the worst variation of Freddy by far. A terrible thing created for awful purposes. And now it's in your house. Lefty has no personality, it's just a shell. All it wants is to capture and contain, and when its programming wires get crossed, it may decide that despite having its fill, it may want to shove you inside as well, if it can even open itself up anymore. Might be able to. It was built as a walking bear trap, an animatronic Kona bear, meant to prey on wandering animatronics. But it has become corrupted, and it survived the fire that was meant to take it out. So yeah, it's a problem that you're stuck with now. No chance in befriending this one. It's about the same size as Freddy, or some Funtime Freddys. It spends most of its day standing in place, but at night it will wander, searching for signs of life. It'll be drawn to noise, and surprisingly enough, it can squeeze itself around pretty well. Even crawling if it has to. It will climb through windows and break doors to reach you, so it's best to keep a TV on blast in the living room between midnight and 6. That'll keep it distracted out there. Might buy you a few hours of sleep. Risk assessment absolutely dangerous. Your best bet is to get rid of this one, and I think I might have a way to do so. But until then, distract it with noise, don't let the house get too hot, heat makes it panic and grow even more aggressive and active, and keep a distance. But make sure it sees you enough during the day that it won't try to wander out of the house and look for another target. Due to its plastic exterior, Lefty can be easily cleaned with wet wipes and paper towels, but there's probably not much reason to do so. It's not going to get into much, and it won't appreciate what you do for it. It has a one-track mind, and it's either in rest or hunt mode. It tends to avoid most other animatronics, especially Springtrap, Circus Baby, and Funtime Freddy. Their voices set off a fear that makes it defensive. Keep any small animatronics away. They might set off its programming to open itself up and consume them. Possibly. The best way to approach is, like I said, keep an appropriate distance and make sure to distract it with sound, familiar sounds and smells. If you had some of the old tapes, Actually, new plan. Okay, here's the plan. Go to the store, get some paint, face paint, and paint your face all white with red cheeks and lips, just like a clown, and put some purple stripes between your eyes and mouth. Do this before midnight. Get prepared. You will need a taser and a power saw. A power saw or an axe, something. You will need something to take this thing apart. When it scans your face, its facial recognition will kick in and then it will open up to let you inside. But it's already filled up. As soon as the hatch is open, hit it with a controlled shock. This will buy you a short amount of time, and what you have to do is reach inside. There is something inside of it that looks like a doll. Reach inside, pull it out, and cut through any wires or clasps holding it in. If Lefty wakes up while you're doing this, shock it again. The doll can take it. Take the doll out, and then move it to a safe location, a closet, chest, somewhere fast. Lock it up, or keep it away from Lefty, then return to Lefty and deal with it, and make sure it won't get back up. Use the axe, use the saw, use something. And if this doesn't work, if this whole plan doesn't work, you can always just blast its hatches latches with a blowtorch. Fire works too, and that one can't be that hard to find. I'm sure you could just buy that somewhere. Either way, 2 birds and 1 stone. No more Lefty, no more blasting the TV to keep Lefty away, and a brand new companion who won't try to shove you inside their gaping belly. Win-win, worth the risk for everyone. Here's a word from a Lefty owner on their experience. Charlotte writes, "So, yeah, Lefty can be a handful, but like a closed-up prize box, all you have to do is pop it open and get the goods inside. And if you do succeed in getting the puppet thing out, you'll have the Marionette as a new buddy. Low risk, it won't hurt someone who saved him from that thing. Gets along with everyone except for the Funtimes and Afton, though might be able to work with Ballora. It will clean itself, it just needs you to supply the paint so it can touch up its right cheek. Actually, maybe might just have to repaint the whole thing. And as for reviews from previous owners, you'll be the first. Congratulations on that, by the way. But with that, we're at the end of the line. Oh, except for one caveat here. So, see, some of the animatronics were released with specialty suits, and though those are rare, some of those have some big asterisks attached to them, such as with the Ice and Frost themed line, Freddy Fazbear, Artic Ballora, Ice Hobgoblin Baby. These animatronics will stay especially chilly at all times, but behave mostly the same, save Fazbear always having a weapon in hand. Insanely enough, there is a line of currently on-fire animatronics. Scorching Chica, Burning Springtrap, Broiler Baby, and the Flamethrower Endo. And if any of these get into your house, there's a good chance it won't last long. Though I'm pretty sure that you can put their fire out with a hose. Chocolate Bonnie smells great and is actually pretty even-tempered. Unless he gets too hot, then he'll melt, get everywhere, and get none too happy about it. I don't think I need to cover any others, just keep an eye out for variations. They do exist out here. Now there's another important thing we need to talk about, what to do if Fazbear Entertainment reaches out. This is never a good thing, whether it be because you want to keep your animatronic or you don't want to get wrapped up in FazEnt's tangled web of cover-ups. If they call you, they already have your number, and they likely already have your address, name and address of all your close contacts. This is bad. There's a couple of ways to go about this. Firstly, you could throw yourself at the mercy of Fazbear Entertainment, offering up all your information and willingly signing an NDA, But not only will that doom any animatronic with you, but the likelihood of Freddy's truly leaving you alone is slim. They'll be back eventually. You're on their list. Secondly, you could split town. Fazbear Entertainment is an enormous conglomerate with their hands all over the industry, in various industries. But they are also lazy and careless. If you move fast enough, they simply won't care to follow. Otherwise, they would have picked up their animatronics after the service shut down. But your name will be on their list, so try to stay away from any Fazbear establishments. If you take your animatronic with you, you will be a bigger target, but if you've bonded with them enough, how could you leave them behind? Besides, the life on the lam is a lot more fun with friends. But there's a possible other out that's worth a shot. Call up the Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex location near Hurricane, Utah, and get your call transferred to the Superstar Daycare. Insist to speak with a daycare attendant. Tell whoever answers that it's about your child's care at the daycare or to file a complaint. If you say you want to complain, they will absolutely hand it over to the daycare attendant. You then tell him the passcode, be quick and clear, 1979-202XEMPLOYTRNFER, capital A, capital R, capital N, .108. After he is done rebooting, you'll be able to tell by the tone change. Tell him about the situation. Say that the voice on the tape told you to go to him. He'll get you out of the system. He will not get you free tickets to the daycare theater. Hopefully one of these options works for you, but let's say you don't like your new companion, either because you can't adjust or because you get stuck with someone truly deplorable, like Afton. Well, there's some options for getting rid of them. Again, reaching out to Fazbear Entertainment is an option, but will definitely blow up in your face in one way or another. I suppose if they're one of the mild-mannered animatronics, you may be able to ask them to leave or drive them off somewhere and try to dump them, but don't be shocked if they follow you home, and maybe aren't so mild anymore. You could also try to sell them online in a hush-hush auction, but I would be very careful in how you deliver the goods, and keep in mind that your product might walk off if they catch wind of your plan. The last option is if you have one problematic animatronic and at least two friendly ones, let's say Freddy Fazbear and Foxy versus Springtrap, you can just run him off. It just takes a lot of work and there has to be a connection already established. But as you can see, all of these options aren't entirely easy, which is why the guide is here at all. Because likely, you're going to be spending a lot of time with your new buddy. And if you do get rid of them, just remember, they won't forget your face. But before you dive into your new life, let's take it for a test drive. I've got a dice game that'll give you a taste of what you may encounter. Here you go. You will need 3 dice for this one. Roll all 3 and add up your score. If you get 3, you get Freddy. 4, Bonnie. 5, Chica. 6, Foxy. 7, Balloon Boy. 8, Circus Baby. 9, Springtrap. 10, Toy Freddy. 11, Toy Bonnie. 12, Toy Chica. 13, Mangle. 14, Plushtrap. 15, Ballora. 16, Funtime Freddy. 17, Golden Freddy. And 18, Lefty. Now you may notice that there's no spot for the Endo. Due to there being a plethora of them, you can just willingly choose if you want to throw an Endo in or not. Next, roll 1 single die. If you get even, you get to roll again and get a second animatronic. If you get an odd, you don't get any more. If you roll for a second animatronic and end up getting the same animatronic, you will not get a second of the same animatronic. Paradox programming forbids it, but instead will not get an animatronic and not roll for a third one. If you get a second one, roll even and odds for a third, until you eventually are stopped or, God forbid, manage to collect every single animatronic. Somehow, I don't think that's going to happen. Now let's roll on the scenarios you can get. Notably, you have a chance of getting a character-specific scenario. We will get to those in a bit. Let's start with the standard. Roll all 3 dice 5 times or more. You can keep rolling for a longer game if you'd like. If you hit the same scenario twice, you can either go through it with another one of your animatronics, continue from the first go of it, or re-roll. If you roll a 3, you're replacing the batteries in your taser when your animatronic sees. They seem nervous, or maybe worried. Or angry? Maybe it's not fair to keep such a scary weapon around them. Will you put it away? It'll be harder to get it if you need it, but it might make them warm up better. In fact, getting rid of it altogether will definitely boost your relationship. But it will definitely make you a sitting duck. It's your choice. Do you trust them? Roll a 4 and you'll get a character-specific scenario. Roll a 5. Some sort of strange virus has gotten a hold of your animatronic and is making them more prone to sudden bouts of aggression. Well, more than usual. You can upload an antiviral software into them to help this, but you're going to have to survive long enough to order the chip, get it delivered, and install it. How do you manage? You've also been seeing a weird face in your dreams. Looks like a rabbit. Roll a die 3 times, get triple 6s, and you're now possessed by Glitchtrap. 6. There is a classic Bonnie and a toy Bonnie getting into a fist fight behind your house. Wait a second. Are either of those even your Bonnie? Well, you've got to do something. Do you wait it out, break it up, and fight one or both in? It could lead to a lot of headaches, but maybe some new opportunities as well, if they don't dismantle each other first. 7. There's a raging thunderstorm outside, and the lightning outside of the window has your animatronic thinking of a controlled shock. Depending on which it is, it might be scared out of its wits, or a little testier than usual. Do you hole up in your room and hide, or try to help them through it? Roll an 8 and get a character-specific scenario. Roll a 9. A group of well-known TV paranormal investigators have arrived in town and seem to be searching for something. These spectral scoopers aren't much to write home about, but something in their EVP equipment is drawing them awfully close to your house. So what's the plan here? Are you going to split town with your animatronic for the weekend, give an anonymous tip to lead them off your trail, or will you take the risk and invite them into your home, knowing that it will make you pretty big, if probably not entirely believed, hometown star, but also knowing it may attract unwanted attention? 10. Uh-oh, how unfortunate, or not. A strange little BB-like creature named Dee Dee has shown up in your house and wants to play a trick. And that trick is that she's bringing in a random animatronic to join your family. Roll for one more animatronic. 11. You get a random call from an unknown individual with a voice modifier. They warn you that there is a deranged mimic on the loose. It is very dangerous, and will climb inside and puppeteer any animatronic it encounters. Your animatronic could currently be a mimic. What do? Do you try to test them and see if it's acting strange? Do you try to control shock and shut it down to be safe? Or do you just leave things how they are and hope the mimic stays friendly and docile? Decide. Okay, now that you decided, roll 1 die. Even, your animatronic was clean. Odd, it was a mimic. 12. Another character-specific scenario. 13. Shadow Bonnie has arrived. It keeps getting closer and closer, and you have to fight it off with your flashlight, but you're not sure if you'll be able to withstand the night. Do you ask for help from your animatronic roommate? Note, but if you have Toy Bonnie, he will go beat up Shadow Bonnie regardless of how close you are. He doesn't like him capitalizing on his stardom. Also, Golden Freddy seems to run Shadow Bonnie off really quickly. 14. Oh dear, your animatronic has some body damage. Either a tear in their soft suit, or a crack in their plastic shell, or even a missing metal plate. This is definitely going to make some animatronics more agitated, so how are you going to handle it given your companion? 15. A rogue Mr. Hippo has shown up at your house. He's long-winded and smells kind of funky, and no doubt he'll tick off any animatronic you let him ramble to. But you can't turn him away, can you? You can make do. You'll have to sit through a lot of monologues, but will you take in Mr. Hippo? You decided? Decide. Okay? Okay, roll 1 die. Odd and he's the mimic, even and he's carrying a virus that you have to deal with before keeping him. 16. Another character-specific scenario. 17. Fazbear Entertainment has called your phone. They know you have some of their electronics and want them back. Needless to say, you're going to have to figure something out fast. Do you split town or give up to them? Or perhaps you have something else in mind, such as staging your death with a giant fire. Would that even work? Let's find out. 18. Some guy named Mike just called. He said he needs help. He needs a place to stay for a while. He'll pay you, but something seems off. He knows about you housing animatronics though, and he says he'll help with any repair work if you let him crash on the couch. Do you let him stay? Decide. Done deciding? Okay. Even and he's just some roughed up looking guy who looks like he could use some help. Odd, and he's actively decomposing, and currently coughing up wires on the welcome mat. Too late to back out now. Now let's move on to those character-specific scenarios. Character-specific scenarios are scenarios that you can only get with a specific animatronic. If you have multiple animatronics, you can choose which one gets the character-specific scenario. Endo. Your Endo is acting sad. It seems upset that it doesn't have a colorful, personality-filled suit like the other animatronics. You look online and find a website, and lo and behold, there's a custom suit maker who is still on the market and willing to suit an Endo. Do you buy your Endo a suit? You can get a lion, a dog, an elephant, or a jester if you want, but maybe you would prefer to have a heart-to-heart with your Endo and convince them that they're fine as they are? Freddy. Freddy's crying in the bathroom again, but this time you bring him a notepad and a pen and are able to get him to communicate what's wrong. It turns out that this Freddy was refurbished from an old Chipper animatronic from an abandoned Chipper and Son's Big Log Show dinner theater. And he misses his son, the Tyke animatronic. Will you help Freddy get over the loss of his probably not sentient son? How will you do that? Or are you going to do something crazy like tracking down the abandoned restaurant and rescuing Tyke? The choice is yours, and the outcome may be a big one. Bonnie. Bonnie has been accused of eating a cat by your neighbor. You know he couldn't have done this, could he? You're going to have to go on an investigation to either find the cat or its remains, but that might involve having to get close to a very strange dog that's been living nearby. Do you confront the dog? Do you take Bonnie with you? Or do you pay off the neighbor? I suppose you could also threaten them. Chica. You and Chica decide to have a pizza party, but the pizza you ordered doesn't taste good enough. Chica is now frustrated and banging around in the kitchen. Wait, you get it now. Chica wants to make a pizza of her own, but she's not exactly built to do that. Do you go ahead with trying to make the pizza with Chica? How does it turn out? And what do you put on it? And what do you do when Chica gets stuck in the oven trying to get the pizza out when it's done? And more importantly, do you own a fire extinguisher? Foxy. One of the props you got for Foxy's Pirate Cove corner is a fake treasure map that hangs on the wall. Unfortunately, Foxy's pirate pillage programming has kicked in and he has left the house in search of treasure, taking the map with him. Now he's wandering around your town at night where anyone could see him. You have to find him, quickly. The treasure map, unfortunately, leads to a landfill. But do you remember what the map looked like well enough to catch him before he gets there? Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy has eaten too many batteries and now the acid is burning his insides. The only way to save him from permanent damage is to drive him to Kentucky to a former technician who will be able to fix and replace his insides. Are you willing to take a road trip with BB? Even if he gets frequently bored? Even if he insists you take him into a motel with you and then he stays up all night jumping on the other bed? Will you save your little buddy or let him suffer in silence? Knowing that if you do save him, he will be loyal to you forever, and if you don't, you will be branded a monster by all animatronic kind. Oh, also he learned a new phrase. Are we there yet? Circus Baby. Baby's going through a phase. She's tired of being bulky and toddling around, unthreatening and childish. She wants to grow up. She wants super cool roller skates and punkish red and blue highlighted wire hair. She wants her claw on the outside where she can use it. She wants a new body, even if she has to put it together herself. Will you help her get the scraps she needs to rebuild herself into a brand new baby, or try to sabotage her due to the risks involved? And more importantly, will the new baby protect you from her old shell after something else slithers inside and starts using it as its own? Springtrap. Something's up with Springtrap. He keeps disappearing at night, and you've noticed. Paranoid, one night you follow him at a distance and find yourself being led into an abandoned pizzeria. He sneaks into the back and then climbs into an old ball pit? Well, ain't that cute? He's playing in a ball pit. Except he doesn't come back out. Curious, you climb inside and suddenly you're transported into another world, into another time. A time when the restaurant was a Freddy's, full of kids, which Springtrap is hunting. He's using the ball pit to relive his glory days and hunt. What? Hallucinations of his past victims? That's disgusting. Horrifying. Obviously, you're going to have to put a stop to this. Unless you're too afraid of him. I don't blame you if you are. But you're not going to join him, right? Right? Toy Freddy. Toy Freddy has become a VTuber. Well, sort of. Everyone thinks he's a VTuber or a guy in a suit or something, but he's gotten pretty popular. And now he's been invited to PitCon. He's begging you to take him, but oh geez, it's going to be a huge risk. You're going to have to keep up the act that he's just a suit and keep him from getting angry enough to attack someone or throw anything without being able to use your taser. Maybe you shouldn't go at all, but that might not make Toy Freddy happy. He might try to sneak out on his own. Toy Bonnie. Toy Bonnie wanted to see his glory days, so you pulled up videos online of the old performances at Freddy's, and he realized from watching them that he, the obvious star of the show, didn't actually do much. Now he's glum and sulking around the house. Now if you leave him like this, he isn't much danger, but he is definitely depressed. So maybe you need to cheer him up. Perhaps you can arrange a performance at the local upcoming fun fair, but be careful. Nobody can know he's alive, and Toy Bonnie isn't exactly the most subtle about it. Toy Chica. Some guy has fallen in love with Toy Chica. They met online and Toy Chica's encouraged him to start coming around to visit, but you find this whole thing very strange. The guy seems totally smitten with Chica, and she's making some very sugary death threats. Oh yeah, she is definitely planning on killing this dude. So what's the plan here? Have nature take its course, or warning him before it's too late? Toy Chica can get rid of a loose end herself, but surely someone will come looking. Also, murder is wrong, even if this guy is kind of annoying. In fact, I don't think a warning alone is going to keep this guy away. Stupid sexy chicken and her Kentucky Fried Wiles. Mangle. There's a freelance technician who lives at the edge of town who used to work on the toy animatronics. He can rebuild Mangle into Toy Foxy for a small fee. Will you sell your car to get Mangle back together again? And if you do, when she is feeling like a new fox, one radiant and beautiful, and quite pink. She seems happy, if a little full of herself. But what about the second head? I don't think he's quite so happy to be left behind, and Mangle doesn't seem happy to have him anywhere near her. To the dump? Or back to the drawing board? Plushtrap. Plushtrap chasers are all the rage right now. They're so popular, in fact, that some kid has stolen your plushtrap right out of your backyard thinking it's a toy. Now the frightened thing is utterly terrorizing this kid and his friends. What are you going to do about it? Well, it looks like you're going to have to come up with a rescue mission before a couple of kids get their calves chewed up or Plushtrap ends up smushed under the railroad tracks. What's the plan here? Ballora. After days of dancing on her own, Ballora invites you to join her in a dance. You know it's risky. She's a tall hunk of metal that stays upright only on her own will alone, and pirouettes faster than you can blink, or it feels like. But she is insistent and keeps asking you. You have a choice. Do you agree to dance or strictly decline? Saying no is the safer option, but she will become more distant. Maybe even more feral. But if you say yes, how does it go? Do you end up a mangled mess, or does it become an unexpectedly tender moment? Funtime Freddy. Bon Bon, tired of Funtime Freddy treating him like his opinions don't matter, has detached from Freddy and snuck away in the middle of the night. Funtime Freddy is absolutely distraught, from angry to desperate, begging you to be Bon Bon, begging you to find Bon Bon, angry that you won't let him leave to find him. You know he'll get distracted at the neighbor's house and come home with a kid inside of him again. But little does he know, but Bon Bon hasn't gone far. He's actually hiding in your room, moping and stewing. Do you keep these two apart, knowing that if Funtime Freddy finds out he will freak out? Or are you going to hatch a plan to get these two back together again? Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy disappeared last week. You didn't think anything of it. Maybe you were relieved to have him gone. This week you went to the Fazbear Circus for a night out when you suddenly spotted a familiar golden bear, waterlogged, wrapped in chains, and stuck in a glass box full of water. It's Golden Freddy. He was kidnapped and is being contained in the circus by extremely salty water and silver chains. Do you leave him there and cut your losses, or is it time for a breakout? Either choice, Golden Freddy will never forget. Lefty. If you kept your Lefty intact, go with the Lefty route. If you decided to free the puppet, go the puppet route. Lefty. Lefty is restless. It's looking for something, though its vague whispers don't clarify what it is looking for, save it showing you its open, ash-filled stomach. Do you try to find a replacement before it can wander outside, or do you help Lefty by putting him in your car and driving around, trying to track down the signal coaxing it? If you do, you might find yourself led into a dark, rainy back alley. There's something there, and it won't go down without a fight, but Lefty wants it. Do you run for cover and cheer for the victor, or do you help Lefty claim its prize? Or Do you switch sides? Puppet. The Marionette has been free for a while and you're both living contently. It compulsively gift wraps random stuff and is sleeping in the cabinet under the TV. When suddenly, Lefty, but bigger and a lot scarier, comes back from the dead and starts banging down your door. Oh no, here we go again. What's the plan, boss? Surely you won't hand over your puppet, so I hope you have either an escape plan or a surefire way to take it out. Maybe a technician, or Mike if you have him, can help you figure out a way to stop this thing from tracking you for good. And there we have it. So, what was your story? Remember, whatever it was, it's only a shred of the responsibility and antics you may come across while homing your new animatronic roommate. But I have faith in you. Your new best friend is right out there, and believe me, you don't want to keep them waiting. Best wishes, and thank you for listening.